Astros Cardinals getting set for game 1 of this quick 2-game series. Astros coming off of an off day. Carlos Correa, though, had 4 as he was trying to recover from a left ankle sprain that he suffered on Thursday against the Texas Rangers. Today, showed up to the ballpark around 12, did some running, got in the cage a little bit, made sure he could cut both ways to left and right, and felt pretty good. So he is in the lineup batting 4th. This is good for everyone. Carlos Correa, who was feeling pretty good for a stretch right before he got hurt. So really tough for him to have to sit out and watch. And I want to toss it up to Blummer for more on Carlos Correa coming back, hitting in that cleanup spot today. How much does this team need this bat?
Thank you, Julian. I think they need this back quite a bit. He is obviously a force. We saw it earlier in the season. We saw it all of last season where he was really aggressive in the zone and with guys on in scoring position, where he was really taking it upon himself to contribute to this lineup by driving the ball out of the ballpark, going the other way, getting those RBIs, providing a spark on defense also. Don't forget about that. Young man has the talent to go out there and win himself a Gold Glove. It's good that he's doing well. He's having a tough road trip before that ankle sprain. On the road, he was 1 for 13 until that ankle sprain. Now with those days off, yes, he gets healthy, but there also might be that good 4-day break just to give the mind a little bit of a rest and be reinvigorated to get back in this lineup.
Yeah, I think it could have benefits in both ways. As you mentioned, get the body rested, get the mind rested. Has been scuffling a little bit. And you know, the Astros, obviously a big part of what they do.
They need a bat like that in the lineup. He is a dynamic force.
Let's take a look at the Astros starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines, and a couple of notable changes. You'll notice Danny Worth batting in the 2 spot, brought up today, having his contract purchased from AAA Fresno, with Luke Gregerson on the family medical emergency list, and Altuve at 3, Correa at 4, and A.J. Hinch doing this in part because with the pitcher batting 9th in the National League lineup, want some guys on ahead of Altuve and Correa. I like the move, Blummer.
It is a good move. Get an extra bat in that lineup. He's been hitting lefties well. And the left-hander going for the St. Louis Cardinals is going to be Jaime Garcia. You're going to get a chance to look at his numbers on the season. It will be his 13th start. He has had a couple of starts against the Astros. Last time he faced them was all the way back in 2012. Went 7 innings strong, no earned runs, 5 punch-outs in that game. Last 5 starts for Jaime have been a little bit rough. 24 innings. He's given up an ERA of 6.38. The whip is well over 2. He's walked 10 batters in those 5 games, too.
Gave up a career high 13 hits in his last start Wednesday in Cincinnati. So George Springer will lead things off. And the game starts off with a pitch down and in. Springer hitting 133 on this road trip, looking to get it going. .0. Missed in the same exact spot almost. As Palmer mentioned, it's been a while since Garcia has faced the Astros, not since 2012. First time Astros are playing the Cardinals since 2013. Ground ball foul. Kind of curious to see how the Astros do against this lefty, Blummer, especially with the guy on deck, Danny Worth, joining the Astros today. He was hitting .394 against lefties at AAA.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And a lot of people may wonder, Marwin Gonzalez had done a great job in that 2-hole in that Tampa Bay series, filling in for Carlos Correa. But moving him further down in the order gives that bottom part of the order some thump.
Lifted to right field. Moss is over there, shielding his eyes from the sun. Really had to fight the sun to make the catch. Most of the field's in shadow, but there is a sliver of sunlight on the warning track in deep right and deep right center field. And now it's Danny Worth making his Astros debut. Worth coming up today with Luke Gregerson going on the family medical emergency list. And by the way, our thoughts and prayers certainly with Gregerson and his family, going through a difficult time right now. Hope to see Luke back soon. As Worth hit .340 at Fresno, played mostly second base there, and A.J. Hinch saying today that here at the big league level probably will play more third than anywhere else, but can play all over the infield. Came up as a shortstop. You see what he was doing down at AAA.
Another valuable resource to go alongside Marwin Gonzalez, who can play multiple positions and give you a solid stick.
Letter high for a strike. Worth, a second-round pick by the Detroit Tigers back in 2007 out of Pepperdine in California. Now 30 years old. Spent last year at AAA Reno in the Diamondback system. Last year was the first time in 6 years he didn't get a big league call-up. As he looks at one outside. This is a guy who actually has played in a World Series with the Tigers. And spent parts of 5 seasons in the Detroit uniform. Got 1 at bat in the 2012 World Series, which the Tigers lost. Hit pretty solidly to right field. Moss will have to play it on a hop. And welcome to the Astros, Danny Wirth. First at bat, a single.
Danny Wirth saying thank you for calling me up. I'll take that base hit. Get a look at our strike zone, brought to you by MD Anderson. Pretty much a center cut fastball. Danny Wirth not trying to do too much. Puts a barrel on it, drives it the other way. Good piece of hitting and a good idea to get on base ahead of this guy coming up now.
Jose Altuve, second leading hitter in the American League. Astros with just 2 hits in their game on Sunday in St. Petersburg against the Tampa Bay Rays, and both of them belong to Altuve. Ground ball left side, sounded like he broke his bat, and that'll be a double play, inning over. So Danny Wirth gets a hit in his first at bat, but no score after a half inning. Stadium. Let's take a look now at the Cardinals starting lineup. Greg Garcia getting the start at shortstop today. Aledmys Diaz, who's played very well, not in the lineup today. He's been scuffling of late. And a guy to keep an eye on, Stephen Piscotty, hitting .519 with runners in scoring position. That's the best in all of baseball.
On the mound for the Houston Astros, big right-hander, standing about 6'8", is Doug Fister. Easily the Astros' most consistent pitchers. You look at his numbers, making his 13th start also. That record at 6-3. Good ERA at 3.34. He leads the club in quality starts. He has 9 out of his last 10 quality starts.
And the first pitch to Carpenter's over the outside corner. Astros have won the last 8 starts he has made, including that last outing Wednesday in Arlington. Missed high. Carpenter, one of the better leadoff hitters in the National League, really in all of baseball. And you look at his numbers. I mean, this is a guy who's among the league leaders in RBIs, leading the Cardinals in runs batted in, 10 homers. But Mike Matheny says we like him right where he is in that leadoff spot. Pitches downstairs.
Is it that old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
And that's right. And you know, the Cardinals, and Matheny alluded to this the other day, they have several guys who can be middle of the order type hitters. So they don't need to put Carpenter in a run producing spot, and he's still been able to produce. Bunts it. Fister off the mound, bobbles it for a moment, and that may have cost him a chance at the out. I think Carpenter probably wanted to get that past Fister with the Astros overshifted, but Fister couldn't handle it cleanly.
No, I completely agree with you, Robert. See, Danny Wirth is nowhere in the picture. What Carpenter wanted to do is get that past Fister, like Robert was saying, get a little more down that third baseline. Fister actually bounced on it pretty good, got to it, just that slight little bobble allowed Carpenter to get in there.
And that'll be rolled a base hit. Strike to Brandon Moss, right fielder for the Cardinals. Moss in his first season with St. Louis, first full season, came over last year from Cleveland.
Get a chance. We're going to look back at that replay here on Supermo, brought to you by Mattress Firm, and there you see it. Didn't quite roll all the way into the glove where he anticipated finding it.
Fister, a very good athlete, normally fields his position very well. Lifted to center. Gomez waiting for it. 1 out. That'll bring up Matt Holliday. Holliday, one of the mainstays on this Cardinals team in his 8th season here now. An all-star last year, but an injury-shortened season, and was healthy this year, putting up better numbers than he did last season. Played just 73 games. Correa deep in the hole, has trouble with the handle, but still able to get one. Nice job by Correa to stay with that.
Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't panic. Matt Holliday doesn't run as well as he did early on in Colorado. First ground ball that Correa has back from that ankle injury. Had to go a little bit to his left, not having to range too far. Just clanked it a little bit. And I hate to bring up Fields as far as fielding, but there are some ballparks around the league, and this one for me, Busch Stadium, I had a chance to play here a couple years. It's a different surface on the dirt for me. It's a good clay base underneath it, but they have a topsoil that they would put over the top. Really kind of deaden the hop a little bit every once in a while. I'm not sure if that had an effect on Carlos right there. I'm just mentioning from my own personal experience.
So 0-2 now to Piscotty. Otherworldly with runners in scoring position, and that's the spot he finds himself in here with Carpenter at second. And see you later. Pfister picks up his first strikeout. So Carpenter a leadoff bunt, but he's stranded at second, no score. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's the next level luxury. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. No score as we go to the second inning. In the shadow of the Gateway Arch here in St. Louis. And Carlos Correa getting his first plate appearance since coming back after missing the last 3 games with that left ankle sprain he suffered Thursday in Arlington. And he takes a strike from Jaime Garcia. Correa suffered that injury running down to first base on Thursday in the 5th inning of that game. Came out of the game. Did take part in on-field activities last 2 games in St. Petersburg. That's bounced foul. And obviously good to have Carlos Correa back in the Astros lineup and batting in the 4 spot. A.J. Hinch said he may do this more often. Altuve 3rd and Correa 4th, moving each one of them down a spot. Andy Worth batting in the 2 spot tonight. Correa fights off a 2-strike pitch.
Well, and getting back to having Danny Worth in the lineup, especially against the left-hander, kind of creates a little bit more depth in that lineup. And we've talked about, I'm sure you noticed too on the radio side, you watch as many games as we do, that bottom third of the order has a tendency to be an issue and really inconsistent. So why not put a guy like Marwin Gonzalez, who's been swinging the bat well? He may have to expand the zone a little bit with the pitcher hitting behind him.
Yeah, Marwin batting second during the 3 games in St. Petersburg that Correa missed, and also played shortstop for those 3 contests. Marwin in the lineup tonight at first base. Correa still facing an 0-2 count from Garcia. And goes down looking at a breaking ball. First strikeout for Jaime Garcia, 1 away. So Garcia looking to bounce back after a rough outing. And Correa must have been looking for something else there.
Yeah, he just kind of gave up on that when it looked like.
Now it's Gaddis back behind the plate tonight. Evans been in a little bit of a funk, hitless in his last 11 at bats. Up the middle, Garcia, 2 out. Greg Garcia getting the start today for Aledmys Diaz, who's taken the Cardinals by storm offensively, but he's been scuffling a little bit of late, so Mike Matheny giving him the day off. And speaking of former Cardinals, here's Colby Rasmus.
It's a pretty good response.
Yeah, absolutely. Started his big league career with the Cardinals. This is the first time he has ever played against St. Louis Team his first 3 seasons in the big leagues. Spent 4 years in Toronto. Now a second year with the Astros. Plenty of media were on hand before the game to talk with Colby and find out how he felt about coming back, and was very appreciative of the opportunity he got in St. Louis. Off the plate.
I feel like Colby's done a lot of growing since that time here in St. Louis. I know he is grateful for the time he did have here, being drafted and brought up by the Cardinals, getting a chance to play in a great baseball city, and it's good to see the crowd respond warmly to him when in his first AB back.
On the outside corner, and Rasmus, first round pick of the Cardinals back in 2005. That last pitch,
man,
bit off the plate, but called a strike by Paul Nart. Fouled it off.
Colby's got a tough assignment against Jaime Garcia. He will not see the changeup. That's a good pitch from Jaime Garcia, but he will not throw that pitch to a left-handed hitter just because it comes back to him. So it will be primarily fastball, slider.
Cardinals overloading the infield with 3 on the right side. 1-2. And there's that breaking ball. Molina gets the out, and the inning is over. Still no score in St. Louis after 1.5. Stadium. Doug Fister working around a leadoff single in the bottom of the first inning. Now set to work to Matt Adams. Really picked it up this year. Scuffled a bit last season. And he looks at one on the outside corner. Adams saying one of the things that helped him, he had a conversation early this year when he was struggling with Brandon Moss. And Moss told him, you know what, just be who you are. Stop trying to be a guy who, you know, doesn't swing and miss as much. Stop trying to be a guy who's looking to take the ball to the opposite field. You're a power hitter. That's your strength. So be that guy. That was a lesson Moss had to learn earlier in his career as well. And there's some power there. Gomez at the wall. 1-0 Cardinals. 9th home run of the year for Matt Adams. Looked like Fister missed his location on that, judging from where Gaddis was set up. And Adams took advantage of it.
Only the second home run that Doug Fister has given up in the last 4 games now, but you can see on the replay in that strike zone, that is a center cut fastball. Matt Adams did not miss it. He loves swinging the bat here at Busch Stadium and goes deep into central.
So the Cardinals score first, and now it's Johnny Peralta. He looks at a strike. Peralta coming off the disabled list last week. Had surgery in March for torn ligaments in his left thumb. Got hurt diving for a ball in spring training. Fouled that off his leg. And with the emergence of Aledmys Diaz, Peralta having to move from shortstop to third base, meaning Matt Carpenter playing more second base. Cardinals optioning Colton Wong down to AAA as he was scuffling offensively.
Go back and look at that home run from Matt Adams. Just yanked that sinker. Wanted to go down and away with it, but center cut, good lift.
And Peralta goes down swinging at a high fastball. We've seen Fister elevate that fastball for both of his strikeouts tonight, to Piscotty in the first and now to Peralta here in the second.
I had a chance to talk to AJ about Doug Fister before the game, asking him what does Doug have to do to be successful, and he talked about the Cardinals not being a good ball club hitting velocity. Well, we know in watching Doug Fister that he doesn't bring a lot of velocity, so how does he combat that? He said to elevate it in the zone, because as well as being good on the lower velocity type pitches, are also very good at hitting the pitch down in the zone.
Molina swings at the first pitch. Correa charging. 2 out.
Correa moving well.
Certainly is. He knows who's running, so knew he didn't have to rush that throw over to first base.
Yeah, I think one of the things you worry about with your infielders, if they do have a leg injury, are they going to be able to get themselves in position to get that good hop, like you just saw right there? Carlos Correa got a nice big hop, made him play look easy.
Now it's Greg Garcia filling in for Aledmys Diaz at shortstop today. Starting the year at AAA Memphis. Garcia seen time in the big leagues in each of the last couple of seasons with the Cardinals, going back and forth. Out of play off to the left. Doug Fister. A lot of these Cardinals hitters, even if they're familiar with them, haven't seen him in a little while. Since his time with the Nationals last September, last time he faced them. That was a relief appearance. Last start against them was April of last year. One, two. And that's on the inside corner for strike three. Garcia goes down looking, and Fister a nice bounce back after the leadoff home run by Adams. 1-0 Cardinals.
Nothing over the Houston Astros here in the top of the third, and here's a look at tonight's Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. Starter team ERA leaders, the Chicago Cubs. You have got to be kidding me with what this staff is doing. 2.34. 2.34. Just drink that in and look at how much better they are than that second place team. New York Mets doing a good job at 3.22. The Nationals have a great starting rotation too, 3.25. Giants actually got off to a rough start this season, but they picked it up.
Yeah, Kyle Hendricks in that Cubs rotation. He has an ERA over 3. What's he doing?
Oh, he's probably getting fined in kangaroo court, man. He's like, you're killing us.
Have two pitchers, Arrieta and Lester, in that Cubs rotation with ERAs below 2.
Man. Way to go, Theo.
Carlos Gomez starts it off as the Astros find themselves trailing for the first time thanks to Matt Adams' home run. And Gomez has hit Garcia well. Saw plenty of him in the NL Central with the Brewers. 10 for 31, a .323 average against Jaime Garcia.
He's got glasses on.
I've noticed him wearing those in pregame work previously. He takes one downstairs, and my understanding is they're not it's not prescription.
Oh, really?
Yep. One. That's rocketed into center field. Good sign when you see Carlos Gomez taking the ball up the middle. Big turn at first.
Gomez should stick with the shades, but we're going to look at some of the pitching in the NL Central. Jake Arrieta, we know what he does. Just consistently goes out there and wins and gives his ball club an opportunity to win. A couple adjustments in that delivery, been pretty good. Top round pick out of UCLA, Garrett Cole, doing a great job. 29-15 record on his since 2015. Some power arms in that division.
But something interesting with Cole, they announced today, the Pirates did, he's going to miss his next start with triceps tightness.
Ooh.
Came out of his last start actually against St. Louis early. As Gomez gets back.
You always wonder what that's code for with pitchers, because we've heard it so often, the bicep tendonitis, the bicep something, and it ends up being a UCL injury where the guy ends up getting Tommy John. And you hope it's nothing like that for Garrett Cole.
Man, such a talent. And then when you draft a pitcher first overall, you're hoping to get Garrett Cole.
Exactly.
Marvin Gonzalez starting at first base tonight. Hit hard but foul as Gary Pettis had the duck in the third base coach's box.
A lot of people bailing out of there.
I think the Cardinals did a smart thing when they built this ballpark and made all the seats red, since all the fans were red here anyway. Sometimes it can be hard to tell exactly how many people are in the seats and how many of the seats are empty.
It's veteran marketing right there. It is a good looking ballpark.
It really is. 0-1. This ballpark built just south of former Busch Stadium, which is located out beyond what is now left center field here at the new park.
I got to play in the old Busch Stadium. It was nice. Did a really good job. It was totally enclosed, so it did an excellent job of retaining its heat during some of these summers in St. Louis.
You never had to play there when they had the turf, though, right?
Thank goodness. I've heard horror stories about that. Oh, Julia being artsy.
Mile 2, huh?
Yeah, seriously. I thoroughly expected her to say like mile 8 or something like that.
I just was warming up at that point.
So between the three of us, we've jogged to at least 2 miles today.
Yes, we have.
It was warm out there, too.
And the arch, a big part of the scenery at this ballpark and really throughout downtown St. Louis. Hard to miss. As Gomez gets back easily.
My question is, have you been up there?
I have twice, actually.
Come on.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
There is no chance you're going to get me to go up that thing and look out that window that we're looking at right there.
Afraid of heights?
Yes. I'm afraid of being in arches.
Just arches, period.
Yes.
Well, then that's definitely not where you want to go then.
Yeah, I'm going to completely avoid that.
Through the whole left side. And Gomez will stop at second. So back-to-back singles by Gomez and Gonzalez to start off the third inning. And this is exactly the situation you want with your pitcher coming up, Plummer, is him to come up in a situation where he can bunt guys over.
Yeah, this is a gift for A.J. Hinch. Again, fastball up in the zone. Marwin does a good job. Been swinging the bat really well. The last 5 games against that fastball, hitters are hitting .369. But again, 2 strikes, that fastball up is nice. But getting back to the situation, first and second, nobody out, your pitcher's up. A.J. Hinch can scream from the dugout, bunt, because this is perfect for him. Take the pitcher out of the equation, use him to move those runners along.
Yeah, no secrets here. Both corner infielders are in for St. Louis.
Even in this setup, Doug is going to bunt the ball towards third base.
And that's exactly what he does. Garcia's only play is at first, with the second baseman Carpenter covering, and Doug Fister gets his second sack bunt of the year. He had one in his first start of the season in Milwaukee.
It's nice having Fister in this lineup too. Had that experience playing with the Nationals, holding that bat in his hand, but did a great job bunting it towards third base. And he got a good shot of Johnny Peralta reacting to that bunt, therefore opening up third base. Easy for Carlos Gomez to make that decision to be safe at third base.
So now the table's set for George Springer. Flied out his first time. Adams is in at first against him. And Springer grounds it up the middle. This will get the run, and nice diving stop by Garcia. And the Astros tie it at 1. Springer's 38th RBI as Gomez comes home.
Good team baseball, but what I like to see in that is that it was a good firm ground ball up the middle. Runner at third base, less than 2 outs. That was an excellent at bat by George Springer, all set up by that bunt from Doug Fister. And if Garcia's unable to dive and make that play, you've got a first and third situation keeping this inning rolling.
Now here's Danny Worth. He singled in his first at bat as an Astro in the first inning. Nice base hit to right field, continuing what he's done at AAA, not just hitting, but hitting lefties well. Big reason why he's up with the big club. Takes one outside. Now, there's always a question about a guy like Danny Worth when he's tearing it up at AAA, hitting .340 down at Fresno. And he's a guy who's gotten big league opportunities in the past, but has never hit. And you wonder, well, has he figured it out? A.J. Hinch certainly hopes so. 1-0. Over the outside edge. I was being kind to Paul Nart when I said that was over the outside edge.
A little extra window on that outside corner, it looks like.
Pulled foul. And the thing that does give you some comfort with Worth, I think, looking at his numbers at AAA and are they for real, and maybe they can translate to better success at the big league level. He hit .314 last year at AAA with the Diamondbacks, AAA Reno. So maybe this is a guy who has figured something out. You're talking about someone who 135 career games before this year in the big leagues, all of them with Detroit, a .230 hitter. It's always been good defensively all over the infield.
Man, you really hope so, because if he can maintain that here at this level, that'd be a nice addition to this roster.
Fielded by Peralta. And the inning is over. But the Astros tie it on Springer's RBI ground out.
St. Louis, bottom of the third. It's time to take a look at our Chevy Stroh poll. Make sure to head over to the Root Sports SW Twitter page to vote in our poll today. Which Astro has been the team's unsung hero? Guys that we know a lot about that maybe aren't talked about nationally, though. Michael Felice, who's been outstanding, now scoreless in 9 out of his last 10. Doug Fister, since May, he's been really good. And then how about Will Harris, who's been closing games here recently, not named the closer, 3 for 3 save opportunities, but that .063 ERA was much lower than that until the other day, if you can believe that. Vote. We'll tell you who wins later in the broadcast, guys.
Thank you, Julia. And for me, I got to go with Michael Felice, especially with the way this season started for him.
I voted for Will Harris.
Yeah, although I think Will at least is getting a little bit more attention now that I know AJ hasn't named the closer, but Will's got all 3 save chances.
But that guy right there, my goodness, you can't go wrong with that vote. That guy's arm has been electric out of that bullpen.
0-2 now to the pitcher, Jaime Garcia. Yeah, I think with Felice, it's just tantalizing to think about what he could become. And Garcia's down on 3 pitches, 4th strikeout for Fister. Because when you think about a guy like Michael Felice, you're talking about someone who he could be a closer maybe one day. He could be a starting pitcher, especially since his changeup's gotten a lot better.
No, that's what I was just going to hint at too, is that he actually has a 3-pitch mix now,
right,
which plays well as a pitcher, because if you only have 2 pitches and you try and face a lineup more than 2 times, you're going to have trouble trying to mix that up and fool them a little bit. But that changeup is a nice mix with that heater that he brings.
Matt Carpenter, a bunt single the first time, and he takes one for a strike. Fister with this Cardinals lineup, talked about it earlier, a lot of low ball hitters. Just fair. Gonzalez has it. 2 outs.
The Force comes to Houston this Friday, Star Wars night. Fans can dress like their favorite characters, and anyone with the special Star Wars ticket package picks up a Jedi Council triple bobblehead featuring Altuve, Correa, and Keuchel. For more information, visit Astros.com/Star Wars or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. What are you dressing up as, Robert?
Is there a broadcaster on Star Wars? It's sky high to shallow left by Moss. Rasmus waiting for it to come down. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Doug Fister. Set down 6 in a row since Adams' homer. Tie game after 3.
Road trip for the Houston Astros as a team, but there's one guy on this roster that we know has been having a good time on the road. Pretty much has a good time anytime he's in that right-handed batter's box. That right there is a big 3-run bomb to help out in Texas. But he has been swinging the bat extremely well, using all fields, hitting every pitch that is thrown near him in that strike zone on that road trip. He's coming into this ball game 12 for 26, home run and 7 RBIs. Pretty much the only offense that the Astros have had to speak of here of late.
Especially in that game on Sunday. Had both of the Astros hits in that contest against Tampa Bay. Altuve comes in second in the American League in hits to Xander Bogaerts, has 88 hits. Bogaerts has cooled off since his lengthy hitting streak ended a couple of weeks ago. Garcia delivers one high. Altuve also great against left-handed pitching, 382 average. That's 4th best in the American League. (1-0). Able to nip the outside corner. Garcia has always been very talented. For him, a lot of it has been just trying to stay healthy. He's been healthy so far this year. Shows bunt, 2-1. last year, made 20 starts, which may not sound like a lot, but it was the most starts he had in a season in 3 years. Bounce foul. Cardinals opted to pick up his club option for this year after he made those 20 starts last season, had a 2.43 ERA. Two and two the count to Jose Altuve. In the dirt. Certainly not surprising that Garcia is pitching Altuve so carefully. Left side. That's Peralta. Just in time to get Altuve.
Tonight's fan cam is presented by HOU.com. There are Astro fans showing up for this old rivalry being renewed with this 2-game series in St. Louis. Dallas Keuchel fan, that's a good one right there. Colby Chag. You know there's some cheeseheads floating around this neck of the woods, maybe, now that the Rams are out of town. It's good to see some orange sprinkled in there.
No doubt. Astros fans travel pretty well.
They have traveled really well for me in the last 2 years.
Here's Carlos Correa. Struck out last time. Good swing at a fastball, but hits it back. I had some Astros fans ask me on Twitter, telling me they were coming out to St. Louis, wanted to know what they should check out. And I said, look, if anybody offers you any tickets to a St. Louis Rams game, it's a scam.
Do not buy. Unless they're offering a plane ticket with it.
It's in the dirt.
I was actually shocked to look over at the dome, and it still had the Rams logo above the marquee.
Sure did. I even saw some signs for Rams parking in downtown St. Louis. And I mean, you could park here for Rams games.
Should be easy to get a spot.
It's 1-2 now to Carlos Correa. Rams, of course, opening up the first season in Los Angeles this year.
I thought you were going to tell him to go to the Bowling Hall of Fame.
Is it here, really?
I think it might be. I have to look it up. I have to double check. I'm sure Twitter will let me know.
Over Garcia. Backhanded by Carpenter in the shift. Nice play. 2 out. Had to throw off balance and got off a strong throw against a good runner.
Good piece of hitting by Correa, trying to go back up the middle with that shift on. Carpenter in good position to make this catch and throw. Very athletic move.
By the way, apparently the Bowling Hall of Fame is in Arlington, Texas.
It is now. Nice.
Yeah. So you're saying you'd rather visit?
It was located in St. Louis, but now it is now in Arlington. Yeah.
So that's what you would visit when you'd come here as a player, rather than the Arch?
Yes. You're kidding me? Much safer.
So like we established, you're not a fan of arches or heights. So
Yes.
the Gateway Arch is out.
Out.
I'd imagine a certain fast food restaurant would be out too for you then.
Yes, no doubt. For other reasons.
It's 2-0 to Gaddis. Bowling Hall of Fame. Wonder if Gaddis has ever been there. He grew up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but calls Houston home now. I've talked to Gaddis. His first offseason in Houston, he loves it. It's softly backhanded by Peralta. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jaime Garcia. All 3 outs on the ground. And after 3.5, still tied. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And yep, apparently said maybe I'll be a broadcaster from Star Wars for Star Wars Day at Minute Maid Park. And apparently,
well, you know what that means now. You asked. They answered. You need to produce.
I need to stop asking. Is clearly what that means. I only have one head, though. I don't think I could pull that off.
Come on, we could set another one on that shoulder right there. And
You're not very helpful, Blummer.
I've heard that a lot.
Matt Holliday looks at his strike. Doug Fister has allowed 2 hits, one of them the home run by Adams in the 2nd. Springer with an RBI ground out for the Astros run. 1-1. What a deal Matt Holliday has been for the Cardinals. Got him for next to nothing from Oakland after a half season there. Some great numbers in Colorado. There's a strike on the outside corner, and what a career he's had in St. Louis, now in his 8th season here. 7-time All-Star, all in the National League. Hit softly. Pfister will have to go over and cover. Nice play by Gonzalez. Good job by Pfister getting over to his position.
Get a chance. We're going to look at our sports spray chart. It's going to be on Stephen Piscotty with runners in scoring position. You see 16 of those hits going up the middle the other way. Not necessarily giving up those at bats, but seeing the ball a little bit longer. But look at that strike zone that we're looking at. Those blue zones are where Doug Pfister is going to try and attack if he has a chance to put away Stephen Piscotty. And this was in the first inning with the runner in scoring position. And look at the location on that fastball. Those guys study, figure out those weaknesses, and then you got to go out there and execute. And Doug Pfister did.
That's something he's been working on, that elevated fastball since spring training. And that's when you try things out, right? He got burned on it a few times, didn't get it quite high enough, but I've seen him use it effectively at times during the season.
Well, isn't asking a sinker baller to throw up in the zone an oxymoron? I mean,
yeah,
it's going to be a tough concept.
And I know you've seen this too, Blumers. A lot of sinker ballers, you try to get them to elevate a pitch, they're just not going to be able to do it.
Yep.
Hit well, but foul.
That a kid, that's why you bring the glove.
High fives all around. And he's wearing a Stephen Piscotty jersey, or a t-shirt anyway. Even better. Nope, that is a jersey.
How about that? You're telling that story for a while.
He just told his sister, no, you cannot see my baseball or touch it. It's mine. 1-2. Holliday able to lay off one downstairs. Or Piscotty, beg your pardon. Piscotty out of Stanford, grew up in Pleasanton, California, in the Bay Area. Lifted to center. Gomez has a beat on it. 2 outs.
Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. Starter ERA now since April 20th. Rich Hill bursting on the scene again in Oakland. Stephen Wright, the knuckleballer. Salazar. You expect a couple more guys in that Indian rotation to be up there. But how about Doug Pfister? 2.61. Talked about those last 10 starts. 9 quality starts in those.
And he delivers a strike to Matt Adams, who homered off of him in the 2nd inning, and straightaway center. And how about Michael Fulmer on that list?
He's been great, right?
Kid that the Tigers got from the Mets in the Cespedes trade at the deadline last year. And he has been outstanding in that Tigers rotation. Pfister, a former Detroit Tiger himself. He's really good in a Tigers uniform. Breaking ball misses. Gaddis unable to hold on to it.
I think that's why it was called a ball.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Unfortunately, you wish that wouldn't be the case, but sometimes if the catcher's unable to hold on to the pitch, the hitter gets the benefit of the doubt. But that ball looked like it broke through the zone a little bit, caught that low and in corner.
Fly ball to left field. Rasmus waiting for it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Doug Pfister. He's set down 9 in a row. 1-1 game.
I wasn't expecting this strict environment of, trying to change you and wanting to mold you into this certain type of person. I just, thought that I could just be myself and do my thing, and that's not really the case all the time. So it was a tough environment, but I stood tall and I'm still here playing. So I'm proud of myself and how I continue to grind through it.
That's our Geico quote of the day, and media swarmed Colby Rasmus as he makes his return for the first time to Busch Stadium since being a Cardinal. Very open about how tough things were for him coming up, being the guy that everyone was looking at, were waiting to perform. They expected it very quickly from him and struggled in that clubhouse, and a tough group for him. As far as the veterans go, they were pretty hard on him. So he says now, I'm a huge mentor to the young guys in my clubhouse, and I even talked to AJ about this too, asking him what's he like to guys like Tony Kemp. He's great. He's the same to everyone in the clubhouse, and some of these guys lean on Colby for advice and just the way he carries himself on a daily basis. So he's grown a lot in this league, guys.
Thanks, Julia. Great stuff. Rasmus still looks on his time in St. Louis very fondly. He was the first ever Jeff Luhnow draft pick in St. Louis. First draft Jeff Luhnow was in charge of in St. Louis was 2005, and Rasmus was the Cardinals' first selection in that draft, 28th overall. 1-1. That's hit pretty well to right center field. Going back on it now is Piscotty at the wall. See you later. Colby Rasmus gives the Astros the lead in his first game back against his old team. 2-1 Astros. Rasmus hitting his 9th home run of the year.
Good for you, Colby Rasmus. A lot of hitters talk about being traded away from ball clubs, being let go. You come back to play them, and we would call them revenge ABs. Right there is a sweet revenge swing from Rasmus. Of course, we don't mean it in the truest sense of the word, but it is nice to kind of show that team that traded you away what you still have in the tank. Great swing.
First home run for Rasmus off a left-hander this year, and his first since May 18th. And that had to feel good.
He's made that trot a couple times in this ballpark.
Gomez lays down the bunt. Tough play, and Peralta unable to get it there in time. Adams dropped it, but I don't think it would have mattered. That'll probably be a bunt single. That is a base hit.
You can see Peralta playing back, and again, a normal shortstop. Made a great play on it, but Gomez still has the wheels to beat it out. Keep that train rolling. Glasses are 2 for 2, by the way.
He's not getting rid of those specs the rest of the year. I like that play, though. A leadoff home run, still nobody out. Want to keep the pressure on the pitcher and on the defense. And now Gomez is at first base for Marwin. Carlos back easily. And Rasmus' home run measured at 406 feet. Good to see him do some damage against the southpaw. And you talk about those revenge ABs, Blummer. And I think it's not always because you're mad at your old team, but a lot of times it's you played with a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are your friends, and you want to show well against those guys.
That is exactly right. You want to prove to them, kind of that "don't you miss me now" kind of thing.
Right. It's only natural.
Yeah, it is only natural. And regarding the circumstances that Colby has talked openly about, some of those things that Colby talked about probably contributed to him being traded away. So now he's back here in St. Louis. There was probably a little extra meaning in that for him, and only for him, which is great. And you know what? For me, playing at this level, whatever excuse you need to get you going, go ahead and use it.
Whatever gets you fired up.
Yeah.
It's a 1-0 count to Marwin Gonzalez.
I just thought it was kind of interesting because not until last year did we get to know Colby Rasmus at all. But I've played against him. I've heard the stories, and then I meet him, and the stories and the guy didn't match up for me because Colby was a wonderful human being.
He certainly is. Good off speed pitch. And Julia brought up the point about how Rasmus really good with the younger players on the Astros, and I've seen it firsthand. Especially takes care of the young outfielders, Jake Marisnick and George Springer and guys like that. And he knows how tough it was for him when he first got to the big leagues, how tough it was in that real veteran clubhouse. So he wants to make it as welcoming as possible for a lot of the younger players on this Astros club.
And I'm all for playing the game the right way, so to speak, and it's different for everybody.
Gomez is going. Molina not in time. Yadier Molina, one of the toughest to run against in baseball, but Gomez up to the challenge.
And on a left-handed pitcher.
That's right, his 7th steal of the year. Wow, what a jump.
Went on that first move, continued to race through that bag. Did a good job of staying on there, too.
Yeah, almost came off, and I think that's what second base umpire Scott Barry was waiting for before making the call, was to see if Gomez was going to stay on the base.
This is where the at-bat gets interesting for Marwin Gonzalez in a National League ballpark. First base is open, runner in scoring position. A lot of times in having hit in that 8-hole, you kind of expand your zone a little bit because you've got a better chance of driving in this run. Attaboy.
And Marwin hits one to right center. That'll score Gomez. Gonzalez on his way to second with an RBI double to make it 3-1 Astros. So Marwin with his second hit in as many at-bats and his 14th RBI of the year.
A beautiful piece of hitting, but I was going to say the 8-hole hitter usually tries to expand the zone to drive in that run because they've got a better chance than the guy hitting behind him in the pitcher. And this is just a fastball up, out over the plate. And Garcia has had trouble with command, and not necessarily as far as the walks are concerned, but he's throwing a lot of pitches to hit. And credit Marwin getting to second base, too. That way the bunt right now will get him to third base.
And once again, Pfister up in a bunting situation with nobody out. Got the sacrifice down his first time. Peralta waiting for first base to be covered, and they get the out. Waiting for Carpenter to get over the first base and almost didn't get it.
It's an interesting play right there as we look back on the slider that got hammered out of this ballpark, and that young man that had the cheese head with Colby Jack on it got his wish. That ball unloaded on. During Colby's time here in St. Louis, he hit 22 home runs in this stadium as a Cardinal. Now has one as an Astro.
Marwin, by the way, staying put at second base. So it's just 5-4 on the putout. Now it's Springer with one out. Now let's take a look at this play here. Marwin freezing, and then by the time he started to go, it was too late.
Yeah, but it was almost a great job of getting Peralta to hold on to the ball long enough to give Pfister a chance to get down to first. Nobody was even within 50 feet of Marwin at second base. That's why he was kind of dancing around out there.
Still a great chance to pick up another run. Runner at second and one out. Springer did a really nice job his last at bat, second and third, just hitting a hard ground ball. Almost got it past Greg Garcia, who dove for it. Made sure he hit it to the infield, which is playing back, to at least get the run home, if not get 2 runs home with a base hit. Garcia's 2-0. Gets it in there. First of 2 between the Astros and Cardinals in St. Louis. They'll play 2 in Houston in August. Astros making their first trip here since 2013. First year in the American League. Played an interleague series here and against the Cardinals in Houston. There goes the runner. Pitches a strike, and out at third is Gonzalez. So Yadier Molina unable to throw out. Carlos Gomez stealing second earlier in the inning, but gets Gonzalez this time. 2 outs.
I'm just not too happy to see that happen in this situation with George Springer at the plate. George, a good hitter, left-handed pitcher up there. You have got to be 100% sure you're going to be safe at third base. You're taking yourself out of scoring position. Really don't see the need to gain that extra 90 feet with a guy like George Springer at the plate for me.
I agree with you, Blummer. And you know, they say if you're going to steal third base, you want to do it with 1 out. But yeah, that's a situation where I think you let Springer try and drive you in. Payoff pitch is bounced foul.
Well, you know what's going to happen now, right? George Springer's going to get a base hit.
Naturally.
That's just the baseball gods in action.
Naturally. And meanwhile, if you're the guy in the dugout after getting caught stealing third, you just hang your head, right?
Yeah, you're trying to get, trying to get real small in that back corner of the dugout.
Payoff pitch again. Rolls up the arm of the second baseman Carpenter a little bit, but still able to make the play. Colby Rasmus, welcome back to St. Louis. Cardinals fans certainly miss him now. 3-1 Astros.
Coca-Cola Astros Buddy memberships are on sale now for only $25. And Buddies members get a voucher for 4 tickets to an Astros game, VIP access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive autograph sessions, and more. Memberships for kids up to 12 are available by visiting astros.com/buddies. Robert.
Thanks, Julia. Johnny Peralta looks at one low. Fouls it off. Peralta thought he was going to be the opening day shortstop on this team, but then tore ligaments in his left thumb, had surgery in spring training. And Aledmys Diaz wound up being the everyday shortstop and really ran with the job. Not in the lineup tonight for the Cardinals. And when Peralta came off the disabled list last week, Mike Matheny called him in his office. Plan was for Peralta to play third, and Mike Matheny said to Johnny, "So how do you feel about playing third base?" He said, "Hey, I'll do whatever helps the team." He's like, no. Tell me what you really think." And he said, "You know what? I'd rather play short. I'm more comfortable there, but I get it. And I understand that I'm probably going to have to play a lot more third as my career progresses." Now 33 years old, actually 34, turned 34 earlier this year. So he gets it. Fouled off again. And that always helps a manager, doesn't it, Blummer, when a veteran like Peralta, he understands that. He wants to play short, but he knows he's not going to right now.
Yeah, signing Johnny Peralta here might have been one of those temporary fixes until somebody like Diaz got good enough to be here at the big league level. It was kind of thrust into the situation because of Peralta's thumb issue.
Nice sinking fastball by Pfister to strike out Peralta. That's 5 strikeouts for the tall right-hander.
But why wouldn't you want to change positions, have a guy hit as well as Diaz was, move to third base, stay in this really potent Cardinal lineup?
And he had played third base before with the Indians. It's certainly not an unfamiliar position. Yadier Molina looks at one outside. Big fan favorite here. Hit hard. Nice backhand by Correa. Knows he can take his time with Molina running. And there are 2 out. That's Puerto Rican on Puerto Rican crime right there.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Sometimes you got to do it. Carlos made it look easy. He also made, well, I think he made Yadier run.
Barely.
Yeah, he wasn't in the frame on that one. Still have plenty of time with that good strong arm that Carlos has.
Carlos from Santa Isabel, Puerto Rico. Molina from Vega Alta, Puerto Rico. Greg Garcia takes one low. Pfister is always working quickly. Greg Garcia out of the University of Hawaii. And his double play partner there, Garcia was a shortstop. His second baseman was Colton Wong, who ought to be in a first-round pick of the Cardinals. Had a good year last year, got a contract extension, but optioned to AAA last week. And Pfister has everything working right now.
Man, ain't that the truth? Good combination. Fell behind 1-0, came back with a breaking ball. Tried to backdoor one, then pulled the string in a 2-1 count. Good pitch.
Just missed.
Great idea coming in there, soft stuff away, and then come into the house with 2 strikes. Should have gotten the call.
Paul Nard calling time, or granting time. How much easier is it as an infielder when you have a pitcher working this quickly?
It's amazing. You're always on your toes. You're anxious for him to get the ball and go.
Good off-speed pitch. And Garcia looked like he didn't realize he swung at it. Inning over. 6 strikeouts now for Doug Fister. Astros leading by 2. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity. Astros with a 3-1 lead over the Cardinals as we go to the 6th inning. And Julia Morales has something on the newest Houston Astro.
That's right. Danny Worth definitely happy to be here and hoping to keep everything the same as it was when he was swinging it so well in AAA. Said I've got to stick to my same routine, just do what I've been doing all season long. Even in spring training, he was swinging the bat well, and he said he carried that over into the season. But Tony DeFrancisco giving him the good news by phone, and you know it's his first time in the big league since 2014. Way far from his major league debut, but it never gets old getting told that you're going to the show. Robert.
Thanks, Julia, and that certainly is true. And you know, Worth appreciates it a little more after, as Julia said, not playing in the big leagues in a couple of years. As he takes one outside, had a base hit in his first at bat as an Astro.
Perseverance. Get that taste, you want it again.
I like what Worth had to say when he was asked about spending all that time at AAA, even after knowing what it's like to play in the big leagues, and you know, how do you deal with that, because that can be a struggle for guys. And he said, you know what, I just try to have fun wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, just try to have fun, whether it's in AAA, whether it's in the big leagues. And I think that's the right attitude you need, the sort of attitude you need to have.
Yeah, AAA baseball is still better than most jobs around America.
And you're still among the best in the world, and
yep,
still get a chance to do what you love.
And you create your own opportunities. He did a good job. You talked about it earlier in the broadcast about he made an adjustment to his swing. Last year 314, this year 340 or whatever it was, just swinging the bat well.
Nice backhand by Peralta. 1 out. Peralta's looked pretty good at third base. And part of the reason he had moved to third when he was earlier in his career with Cleveland was because the thought was his range might be diminishing at shortstop. They had Asdrubal Cabrera at the time, young shortstop. You know, certainly seeing him back at short with the Cards the last couple of years, range certainly not where it had been for him. So I think this could be a pretty good move for him and for the Cardinals moving forward at third base, especially if Aledmys Diaz continues to play the way he has. Altuve takes one for a ball. As always, corner infielders creeping in against Jose. Always have to be wary of that bunt and that ability to get that infield hit. Adams will back up a little bit at first base, but Peralta staying in. Doesn't get the call on the fastball. Molina trying to hold it there. One of the better pitch framers in the game. That's a laser to left center. Almost took out the second base umpire Scott Barry in the process, and Jose Altuve with his first hit of the night. That's now a 6-game hit streak for Jose.
Follow Astros baseball live and stay up to the moment with Game Day, live highlights, StatCast, and more with the MLB.com @BAT app. Download the app for your phone or tablet now.
Carlos Correa hitless in his first 2 at bats since returning to the lineup after being out since Thursday with that left ankle sprain. Time called.
Some late calls from home plate umpire Paul Nauert.
Yeah, Garcia didn't realize it, and he actually dropped the baseball. Sometimes what happens too in those situations, a pitcher will drop his head as he comes set, isn't necessarily looking at home plate, and then time's called, doesn't realize it until it's too late. Astros looking to add to their 2-run lead. Fielded by Garcia on the first from Carpenter. And that's an inning-ending double play. Second double play the Astros have hit in 2 tonight. Altuve a single, but that's all. Astros by 2. Astros with a 3-1 lead as we go to the home 6th inning. It'll be Jaime Garcia, Doug Fister's opposite number. So Jaime Garcia has come up both times tonight, leading off innings. Both times Doug Fister's come up, it's with a chance to bunt a runner over. There's a strike. Got Garcia on 3 pitches his first time. Very economical pitch count for Fister. There's number 59. Broke his bat. Correa. 1 out.
This pitching performance is powered by Kubota. Nolan Ryan in that Angels uniform back on June 14th, 1974. That is correct. Throws 235 pitches, 19 Ks in 13 innings.
How many of those pitches did he throw with his left arm?
Seriously. Is that not incredible?
That game wound up going 15 innings, and the Angels wound up winning it. So 19 strikeouts in 13 innings. He also walked 10. 10 walks.
But is 10 walks in 13 innings bad? I don't know. I mean, gosh.
Maybe 10 walks in 13 innings isn't bad, but 235 pitches.
I mean, he had a month's worth of like strikeout to walk ratios for any other reliever in today's game.
Unbelievable. Much different game now, that's for sure.
Yeah, slightly. And we know how Nolan feels about that too.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's like, if I did it 30, 40 years ago, why can't they do it now? I'm not sure I'd encourage 235 pitches in one game. I'm not sure I'd want to call that game.
No kidding. 2-1 now to Carpenter. It's hard to pinpoint most pitches thrown in a game because there wasn't reliable pitch count data before 1988. You do have some anomalies, like knowing that Ryan threw 235 pitches in that game 30 or 40 years ago today, but really hard to pinpoint exactly most pitches thrown in one game by one pitcher. Hit pretty well. Gomez, however, has a chance, and Carpenter's a second out. And you know, that wasn't the only instance of Nolan Ryan providing the Angels with a lot of innings. His first 3 seasons in an Angels uniform after getting traded from the Mets averaged over 20 complete games, 300 innings plus his last 2 seasons, and still ERAs under 3 each year.
Those numbers don't make any sense. 26 complete games.
Moss hits it well to left. Rasmus leaps, can't get it. It's gone. Second home run of the game for the Cardinals. This one belongs to Brandon Moss. 3-2 Astros.
Tell you what, myself, like Colby Rasmus and Doug Fister, might be a little bit shocked that ball had enough to get out of here. Moss does have power, but going the other way off the end of the bat, it's a pretty good poke.
15th home run for Moss. He's always had plenty of power, but as you said, Blummer, usually don't see it to the opposite field.
That was a good sinker where Doug Fister wanted to locate it. You just got to give credit to Brandon Moss for extending that outer part of the zone and going with it.
Holiday flares one out of play to the right. See how close Rasmus was. Nope.
It's always deceiving until you get that vantage point.
That's right.
Because I thought he was a lot closer than that from where we were sitting.
Yeah, so did I, but didn't have a shot. 0-1 to Holiday. Calls time just as Fister was ready. So both of the runs for the Cardinals on solo home runs. Matt Adams had one in the second. Fister, other than that, has been putting on a clinic. Now has allowed 11 home runs on the year with the 2 he's given up tonight. Just missed inside. And not surprisingly, both of the home runs Fister's given up tonight have been to left-handed hitters. He's given up just 2 home runs to righties this year. The outside corner, Manny Machado of the Orioles has gotten him. So has Mike Napoli of the Indians. Not surprising to see Fister wiping some sweat off his brow. Game time temperature of 89 degrees tonight and very humid. Way upstairs. Used to be a lot worse the days at the old stadium when they still had the AstroTurf, which would just radiate that heat.
Yeah, I heard Craig Biggio telling stories about how they'd have ice buckets.
Just missed. And Holiday's on with the first walk Fister has issued. Let's take a look at that last pitch.
Wow.
Right at the top of the zone.
But Craig Biggio would talk about in the dugout, the trainers would have small, shallow buckets of water and ice, and they would come sprinting off the field and just jump into those with both feet, trying to cool those things off. Every once in a while, there'd be a little steam coming off.
Oh, my
it would
goodness.
get so hot and melt the bottoms of the shoes.
Swung through by Piscotty. You know, I covered the Royals for a few years, got to know a lot of the Royals and those great teams in the 70s and 80s, and they would talk about how a lot of times they would put something in their cleats like cardboard or something when they had that AstroTurf surface at Royal Stadium for those day games or to do their pregame work. 1-1. Just try to do something to mitigate the effects of that heat coming off that turf.
I've heard cabbage. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard like layers of cabbage on the bottom of the, you know, on top of the insole, bottom of the foot.
I know guys used to do that back before guys would wear helmets, when they still wore just the baseball caps. They'd put cabbage leaf under their cap to try and stay cool.
There you go.
Never heard of it in the shoe, but I guess that would make sense.
But like you said, try anything.
Yeah. Just trying to stay cool. Just high with a fastball. I've seen Fister try to elevate that fastball a few times tonight with some success. Knows that this Cardinals team is filled with low ball hitters. 2-2. It's driven pretty well and pretty deep to right. Springer has a chance, makes the catch. George just makes it look so easy out there. Cardinals get a run back on Moss's home run. Astros lead by 1.
Today marks the U.S. Army's 241st birthday. USAA honors those who have served in the U.S. Army and all of our service members around the world.
By Chick-fil-A is back this Saturday. Christian musician Brandon Heat performs a post-game concert, and Colby Rasmus and his wife Megan will share faith testimonies. For more info, visit astros.com/faith or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, but in Evan Gattis' first at bat, he was wearing batting gloves. This is something he never does. But you mentioned how hot and humid it was today. His hands were so sweaty earlier when the sun was still up that he felt like he couldn't get a good grip on that bat, so he was hollering over to the dugout. They're all looking at each other. What do you want? Colin McHugh runs out and gives him some batting gloves. Everyone thinks something's going on. I mean, this threw everybody off, guys.
I think it's funny that the pitcher, Colin McHugh, is the one who gave him batting gloves.
McHugh's ready for tomorrow.
That's right. McHugh will get to swing the bat tomorrow as he'll face Adam Wainwright. Second game of this series. But back to no batting gloves for Evan Gattis.
It is such a foreign feeling if you're a batting glove user to go to no batting gloves, but I can't imagine what it feels like. You can see right there, grab some dirt. The only thing that really can get rid of that moisture, other than your uniform, but you see the tops that they're wearing these days, they're a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter weight. They soak up a lot of the sweat. But dirt and the rosin behind the pitcher's mound does a good job of soaking up that sweat. But once it gets in those fingers and on that bat, it makes it real tough.
1-2 from Garcia. Doesn't get the call off the plate away. I know guys who hit without batting gloves talk about how they like to get their hands nice and calloused. Makes things a little easier for them.
Moises Alou had an interesting way of doing that.
Did he ever?
I'll let you explain if you want. That always seems to be a setup position.
You know, first time we're ever working together, and this is what you do to me. Appreciate it.
Yep.
I'm going to go over to the radio booth now.
Yeah. Don't have to talk about those things. Partner's a little bit nicer.
Lifted in the center by Gaddis. Scotty started back, now in. And there's one away.
Our delivery of the game is delivered to you by Jimmy John's. Colby Rasmus, talked about it earlier, hit 22 home runs as a St. Louis Cardinal here in Busch Stadium. He adds number 23 to that in an Astros uniform. First home run off a left-hander for Colby Rasmus.
So Rasmus facing Garcia once again. And getting some activity now in the Cardinals bullpen for the first time. As it's the right-hander Sung Hwan Oh getting loose.
Just saw a number of Jaime Garcia against left-handed pitchers. As you look at O getting loose in the Cardinals bullpen. He has not walked a left-hander all year, and I believe that's 74 chances against left-handed hitters.
Wow.
Crazy.
It doesn't tend to bother managers as much with starting pitchers. But if you're a lefty specialist out of the pen and you walk a left-handed hitter.
You are no longer a lefty specialist.
That's correct. That's a good way to upset your manager.
Yes.
And certainly applies to a lesser extent to a starting pitcher. You know, if you're a manager, you get into situations sometimes where you're late in a game with a starter and maybe you leave him in a batter longer because you want him to face, if it's a left-handed starter, you want him to face a left-handed hitter. If he walks that guy, well, it's almost like, well, why didn't I just go to the bullpen sooner? 2-1. Well, close to walking Rasmus here.
The jinx is on.
Apparently.
Supposed to argue that point. We have nothing to do with this game. We just call it like it is.
That's what we say when the jinx isn't in the Astros' favor.
There you go.
Wow. And Rasmus a good swing on a 3-1 pitch, and he has 2 hits off the lefty Garcia. Nice job by Colby. Got a favorable count.
Good to see that bat turning around for Colby Rasmus. Been in a little bit of a funk, that average dropping into the 220s, but here a couple of rockets today. One out of the stadium, that one on a line to the right fielder Brandon Moss.
Remember what I said about sometimes managers like to leave a pitcher in to face a left-handed hitter before taking him out? Well, I think that's what Matheny did. And now he's going to go to his bullpen as Sung Hwan Oh will come into the game for the St. Louis Cardinals. Astros leading by a run in the 7th. 7th inning, and the Cardinals go to their bullpen for the first time tonight as they bring in Jeff Blum's favorite pitcher, yes. Sung Hwan Oh.
I'm going to say it, Sung Hwan Oh. He is in the game. How about that? He's been making some appearances. 33rd on the season so far. Great whip, well under 1 walk to strikeout ratio. Average against with runners in scoring position is great. Heard that changeup acts like a screwball out of his hand. This will be our first chance to get to see what he's done.
Native of South Korea, in the States for the first time. Rasmus, the runner at first for the Astros. As Carlos Gomez stands in. Off of Adams, he can't find it, and everybody's going to be safe. Gomez hit that hard. We'll have to see how they score that one.
I think Gomez just went the other way.
It's going to be an error on Adams. I think that's the right call.
I agree.
That ball just ate him up.
Ball was actually smoked, but it looked like Carlos Gomez was trying to go that way, maybe shoot that 4-hole over there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Surprised Matt Adams because it was hit well, kind of skipped off the grass a little bit, ate him up. He's got a situation now.
Marwin Gonzalez at the plate. 2 for 2 tonight, doing a nice job in that 8-hole in the National League game. RBI double his last time, and the Astros would love to get an insurance run or two. That's hit foul. Last year pitching in Japan, last 2 years in Japan for the Hanshin Tigers. After 9 seasons in Korea, 357 saves.
Jeez.
Between Korea and Japan.
Do those count over here?
Not if Pete Rose is the one who's asked.
That a boy. Saw that same article. Pete's trying to get his high school hits included.
Marwin, nice grab by Adams. Will have to hurry, and he just got there in time. Almost took too much time. 2 outs. Wouldn't mind another look at this one, and I'm sure AJ may want to look at it as well. That was very close at first base, as almost took too much time.
Tough angle right there, but a colossal chopper off the bat of Marwin Gonzalez. Ooh. Marwin made that extremely close, hustling down there.
Clearly out. Doug Fister will try and help himself out. Base hit to center field. That'll score a couple as Rasmus comes in. Gomez safe. Astros lead it 5-2. How about Doug Fister? A 2-run single.
Help yourself, Doug. Again, played with the Nationals, got some ABs under his belt. I like the idea of being aggressive early in the count, getting a pitch to hit, not letting get to the secondary stuff to try and get him out. But how about shooting it right back up the middle like he's been doing it for years?
And Doug Fister, first time he was drafted out of junior college in California, he was drafted as a first baseman. He didn't really start pitching full time till his last year at Fresno State. And getting it done with the stick. That pitch misses to Springer. So Fister, before tonight, had 2 RBIs in his career. And you see there his first runs batted in since 2013, but had 2 RBIs in his career and now doubles his total. The Astros make the Cardinals pay for that error by Matt Adams. It's both of those runs unearned. First of those 2 charged to the starter Garcia. Springer couldn't hold up. Sungwon Oh, when he was pitching in Korea and Japan, his nickname, he had a few of them. The Stone Buddha, Final Boss. Springer down on strikes. Good fastball from Oh. But the Astros tack on a couple. Doug Fister with the 2-run single, and the Astros lead 5-2.
7. Enjoy a picnic buffet in the Minute Maid Park outfield with your favorite Astros on Sunday, June 19th. Picnic in the Park is presented by Wells Fargo and includes an autograph session and family-friendly activities. For tickets, visit astros.com/picnic. All right, we asked you earlier in our Chevy Stroh poll about unsung heroes on this Houston Astros team. We have a winner. It was between Michael Felice, Doug Fister, or Will Harris. Will Harris taking it here, but man, has Doug Fister put up a fight tonight. He's even driving in runs.
Yeah, I think if you do that poll now, Julia, people are going to change their vote.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing. Can we have a do-over?
No.
But they've all been great.
That's right, yeah. I mean, all of those are great choices. So thanks for voting.
There's some years with some teams where it's hard to pick an unsung hero, let alone 3 of them. I want to know what the 5% picking other were choosing. That's what I'm curious about.
It could have been you.
Definitely wasn't me.
Come on.
Unless my mom voted a bunch.
Your mom's got a Twitter? I love it.
Barely. Barely has a Twitter. Good curveball to start off Matt Adams. He homered off of Pfister in the second. Adams in the second, Moss in the sixth. They homered. That's been it for the Cardinals. Gomez froze for a moment, but a can of corn. One away. Matt Bowman warming up now in St. Louis's bullpen. For Sung-Hwan Oh allowed an inherited runner to score and a run of his own to score in the top half of the seventh. How about Doug Pfister pitching in the seventh inning, 78 pitches. Michael Feliz was warming up last inning, but no one up at the moment, although there is some stirring out there in the Astros pen. That's laced by Peralta into the corner. Fourth hit of the night for the Cardinals. And Peralta with his third double of the year. He's only been back for the last 7 games.
After 2 punch-outs, Johnny Peralta decides to be a little more aggressive in this at-bat. But Doug Pfister was really doing a good job of getting fastballs in on the hands of Peralta. Right here, he just turns on it.
So he's in scoring position. Those 2 runs the Astros got in the top half of the inning, looking even bigger now. Lane is grounded out to short both times. Up the middle. Nice backhand by Altuve. Got him with the jump throw. Outstanding play by Altuve. 2 outs.
Huge play in a huge situation, saving his pitcher Doug Pfister from what could have been a base hit RBI to continue this inning. But little man backhands, gets airborne, and throws a nice solid one hopper to Marwin Gonzalez, who stretches out. We've already commented about how Yadier is not the speediest of all base runners. Plenty of time to get him. Great play.
So Peralta now at third for Greg Garcia. Lifted to left. Rasmus backpedaling. And the inning is over. So Pfister works around Peralta's 1-out double, stranding him at third. Astros leading by 3.
As we head to the top of the 8th inning, and our Lexus defensive rankings are up on the board for you to look at right now. Again, that ranking number is based on data. The red light, green light, yellow light are based on some personal opinions, mostly mine. But I decided that we're going to run on Piscotty. I definitely know to run on Matt Holliday, not one of the better left fielders in all of baseball. But Piscotty is the one that Gary Pettis chose to pick on in this at-bat with Doug Pfister, getting that base hit up the middle. Gomez can still run pretty well, makes a good turn at third base, running right at Piscotty. It was a good throw, but Gomez just put a beautiful slide on it, sneaking past the tag of Yadier Molina. The gamble paid off.
Great slide by Gomez. And I like the send there by Gary Pettis.
I do too.
Especially with 2 out. Danny Worth will stand in against a new Cardinals pitcher. Matt Bowman into the game. Third pitcher of the night for St. Louis. Danny Worth hits it to Greg Garcia. 1 out. Bowman making his 20th appearance of the season. First go round in the big leagues this year. Cardinals getting him from the Mets in the Rule 5 draft this past offseason, so they have to keep him on the major league roster all year or offer him back to the Mets. Altuve takes a strike.
My goodness, did the Mets organization have some pitching depth in the last couple of years. Talked about Fulmer in Detroit coming over in a trade. Now you've got Bowman coming over in a Rule 5 type situation.
And then the guys they have at the big leagues are pretty good.
Yeah. These guys are probably happy to be out of that organization.
Yeah, the Mets might have to piggyback their rotation with all the guys that have come through, all the arms. 1-1, hit pretty well to right. Moss has it lined up. And Altuve's the second out of the inning.
Make memories at an Astros game every Sunday with family-friendly activities presented by Kroger. The next Sunday home game is this Sunday, the 19th. For more info, visit astros.com/Sundays or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Young man must have just gotten that hat. The sticker's still on it.
No, man, that's a cool thing to do.
I never understood that.
Yeah.
Why is that the cool thing to do?
I don't know. I just made that up. It's an authentication. There we go. I'm going to go with that. It's authenticated. I don't know.
Swinging a miss at a breaking ball by Correa. I've seen kids too that have, you know, the tag at the top. They'll leave that on there. Really, I just want everybody to get off my lawn. I think that's what it is. 0-2 to Correa. And I was a kid who loved baseball caps growing up. The kid who had to be told in high school class to take it off.
Oh yeah.
But never left the tag on. Never occurred to me. Correa down on 3 pitches. Didn't like the call on the last one by Paul Nart. And Bowman retires the Astros in order. But the Astros with a 3-run lead after 7.5. Baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Toyota, let's go places. And by USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. Astros leading by 3, bottom of the 8th. Pinch hitter against Doug Fister. It's Jeremy Hazelbaker. And he hits the first pitch foul. Hazelbaker's been quite the find for St. Louis. Made their opening day roster. Had never played in the big leagues before this year. And you see those numbers as a pinch hitter. Has been very impressive. Cardinals picked him up after he was released by the Dodgers in May of last year. And he had a good year for the Cardinals at AA and AAA a season ago. He's batting for the pitcher Bowman. Look at that. Cardinals pinch hitters batting nearly 100 points better than anybody else in the National League. And Hazelbaker will add to that average. Going the other way against Fister with Worth way off the line. Astros with activity in their pen with Fister at 84 pitches. It's Ken Giles getting loose.
That's a guy not trying to do too much right there. Just made contact with it, redirected it where nobody was standing. See a lot of these Cardinals hitters very adept at going the other way. So Hazelbaker at first for Matt Carpenter. He's 1 for 3 tonight. There's a strike on the outside corner. So Fister still pitching in the 8th inning. He's pitched a fine ball game. He's given up the 2 solo home runs thus far. First time pitching into the 8th inning this season. He's gone as many as 7 innings once. That was May 11th against Cleveland. One and one. Tony Sipp joining Ken Giles in the Astros pen. Lefty and a righty. Real important batter here in Carpenter. It's really a big part of what the Cardinals do on offense. Hit pretty well to right, but Springer with a beat on it. And there is 1 out. Hazelbaker back to first base. And now it's Brandon Moss who accounted for the Cardinals' last run. 6th inning. Hitting that home run, his 15th, and A.J. Hinch now headed out to the mound. Think he talks him out of it?
I think A.J. wants Fister to convince him, or maybe not. So the lefty Fister, or the lefty Sipp, will come on for Fister, who has his longest outing of the season, 7 1/3 innings. And Tony Sipp coming in. What a Fantastic job by Pfister.
Doug Pfister did a great job. The score is 5-2. Astros over the Cardinals, and Playing to Win is going to be brought to you by Toyota Tundra. And we're going to talk a little bit about what Doug Pfister did. He did a great job tying up this St. Louis Cardinal lineup. We heard the scouting report was they hit the ball well down. Realizing that, Doug made the adjustment, had some good pitches up in the zone, got Piscotty with a runner in scoring position with that fastball up and in, but did a great job scattering 5 hits. The only 2 runs he gave up were a couple of solo home runs, but you've really got to give it to Doug Pfister making the adjustments, pitching here against a great offensive team, and doing a great job to keep his ball club in it.
Tony Sipp delivers one low to Moss. This probably is the only hitter Sipp will face, with Holiday and Piscotty, 2 right-handed hitters next. And Ken Giles ready in the pen. One and one. Good fastball from Sipp. You see Sipp's numbers. He's always been that reverse splits guy, at least in his time with the Astros. Better against righties than lefties. Good breaking ball. That's his biggest weapon against these lefty hitters, that big slider.
I agree. He's also got a good pitch against right-handed hitters if they do come up. He's got that good split-fingered fastball. A great location on that slider.
See you later, Brandon Moss. Got him to chase one off the plate away. That slider again. And there are 2 out in the inning, and here comes A.J. Hinch once again. Sipp gets his man. Expanding the zone with that slider.
Good late movement on it. Moss unable to lay off it. Tony Sipp does his job.
Ken Giles coming in. Astros up by 3. Cardinals with a runner on and 2 out. And Ken Giles, 3rd pitcher of the inning for the Astros. Giles scoreless inning last time out on Friday in St. Petersburg. Struck out the side in that inning, and he hasn't allowed a run in 12 of his last 15. 36 strikeouts in 26 innings, 7th best strikeouts per 9-inning ratio among American League relievers at 12.46.
Pitched in that Tampa Bay series on the 10th, went an inning, gave up 1 hit, punched out the side.
He's really gotten better as the year has progressed and faces a tough customer in Matt Holliday. And he starts him off with a slider. Seen Giles get more and more confidence in that slider as the season progresses.
Yeah, I think that's what's changed everything for Ken Giles. Being able to throw that slider for a strike makes that fastball that much faster too.
Lifted to shallow right. It's going to be a tough play in foul territory. Gonzalez, did he hold on? He did not. Looked like it hit off the heel of his glove. Wasn't able to come up with it, but a great effort.
That was an absolutely incredible effort. I really didn't think there was going to be a chance for anybody to get there, but Marwin, not your standard first baseman, plays all over the infield, has some good wheels, had a beat on it too. Oh, just didn't fall into the pocket of the glove. Did an unbelievable job to get there, just to even have a play on it.
Certainly. But 0-2 now on Holiday. See what Giles does here. Got him. Slider. Beautiful sequence by Giles. Strikes out Holiday on 3 pitches. Cardinals strand 1. Astros by 3. 9th inning. Academy Sports and Outdoors, and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. All-time leaders among Astros at home runs in St. Louis. No surprise at who's at the top. How about Jimmy Wynn checking in with 12? That was back in the days when Busch Stadium, the old Busch Stadium, the dimensions weren't nearly as friendly for home run hitters.
That old NL Central rival racking up the numbers, coming through here quite a bit over the years. Berkman and Bagwell. New pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals will be left-hander Tyler Lyons, making his 18th appearance. He's got a record of 2-0. That ERA a little inflated around 4.55. You see what he's doing against lefties. But Evan Gattis on the right side is going to get a chance to maybe pump up that 300 average against Tyler Lyons. Lyons has a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup.
Came up as a starter with the Cardinals. Got some starts last year as well. Gattis looking to get on base for the first time tonight. 0-1. I'm sure Mike Matheny also wanted to get Lyons in this game too, because he hasn't pitched in a little while. Last pitch this past Wednesday. Flared. Nice catch by Carpenter. Froze for a moment. Wasn't sure how hard that ball was hit. 1 out.
This moment in history is brought to you by MD Anderson. Man, kidding me? Carlos Beltran in this stadium in those 2004 playoffs alone was a one-man wrecking crew for the Houston Astros, coming over mid-season and just absolutely annihilating the baseball. 435, 8 home runs, 14 RBIs, 21 runs scored, 6 stolen bases. If there was a spot where the Astros needed a boost, that guy was in the box and he provided it.
He certainly did. I mean, one of the, not just the postseason, and obviously the postseason was great, but even his last couple of months of the season with Houston, I mean, some of the best baseball anybody has played in a short stretch. 0-2 to Rasmus. Lions out of Lubbock, Texas, played at Oklahoma State. And Rasmus is down on 3 pitches. Two out and no one on for Carlos Gomez. Will Harris getting loose in the Astros bullpen, preparing for a save chance in the bottom of the 9th inning. You know what, A.J. Hinch hasn't named his closer, Plummer, but Will Harris is the closer right now. It certainly seems that way, doesn't it?
You're going on record. You've heard it here. Robert Ford called Will Harris a closer. No, I agree with you. No, it's been a little rough for Luke Gregerson, who's now on the family bereavement type list. So Will Harris, I think, has stepped in nicely. The numbers are unbelievable coming in before he became that quote-unquote possible closer type guy, but he's got the stuff to do it. We really saw the mentality of Will Harris in that save he had in Tampa Bay. Got roughed up a little bit, but kept his poise and got out of it.
Hit well, but Holiday puts it away, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Lyons. Will Harris going to try and close it out. Astros by 3. Inning in St. Louis, and last time we saw Will Harris had maybe his roughest outing of the year. Gave up a run for the first time since his first appearance of the year on the sac fly by Steven Souza. And the Rays had the tying run at third with 1 out. But then Desmond Jennings hitting into a game-ending double play, and Harris fired up to pick up his 3rd save in as many chances.
That was beautiful to see, and the defense really picked him up with that double play on Desmond Jennings, who runs extremely well. But Will Harris, what I loved about that, showed great poise, didn't panic in that situation, continued to make pitches when he had to. Now in his 29th appearance, you can see with that run he gave up, his ERA has ballooned all the way to .63.
A very small balloon for Will Harris. Piscotty leads it off, and he'll be followed by Matt Adams and Johnny Peralta, middle 3rd of the order.
How about the combination of a day off yesterday and having Doug Fister go deep into this ball game today? What that meant to this bullpen.
Absolutely. Bullpen that has thrown the most innings of any pen in the American League. Altuve on a hop. 1 out.
Ball hit well, but the GPS was lined up accordingly.
Harris with that sac fly he gave up in his last appearance that ended his scoreless streak at 26 appearances, 26 and a third consecutive scoreless innings. Third longest scoreless inning streak in Astros history by a reliever. Only Dave Smith in 87 and Joe Sambito in 79 have had longer streaks.
Ah, yes, the great Sambito.
Teammate of yours?
Easy.
I mean, you guys didn't play together with the Philadelphia A's or the St. Louis Browns?
I'm usually dishing it out to Ash. Now I'm wearing it. Man,
that's what happens.
Coming back around.
That's what happens when your partner's younger than you. It's 0-2 now to Adams.
Now Joe Zambito became an agent, represented a couple clients out west, had the opportunity to run into him a couple times and talk with him. Great guy.
That's right. I forgot he had got onto that side of the business. 0-2.
Oh my.
That hit Gaddis's mask. It sounded like it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out too, because I'm with you. The reaction I had was to the noise.
Bounced to good. 2 or 3 feet in front of the plate. And
wow.
Gaddis acted like, you know, he just got hit by a beach ball rather than a baseball.
And he's like, what's the big deal? Let's keep going.
Rub some dirt on it. Swing and a miss. Gets away from Gaddis. Still gets the second out.
Nice play by Evan. I think all the training wheels and question marks have been removed from Evan Gaddis behind home plate. He's done a great job throwing guys out, but here you get a chance to see him actually block a tough breaking ball from Will Harris. He throws that thing hard, but he keeps it in vicinity, doesn't panic, runs over, makes a good strong throw for that out.
Cardinals down to their final out. Johnny Peralta stands in. Starts him off with a breaking ball. That curveball is really what sets Harris apart from a lot of relievers. His ability to throw it for a called strike. Get swings and misses with it as well, as we just saw with Adams. Hit pretty well. Gomez. And that is the ball game. The Houston Astros take game 1 of this mini 2-game series in St. Louis. Doug Fister outstanding. Astros getting plenty of offense. And they're able to beat the St. Louis Cardinals, ending St. Louis's win streak at 5 games. We'll be right back after this.